All right, welcome Team Resistance. This is the 2021 Programming Apprentice Training. Software loading. My name's Jim Huffman. I've been a mentor since 2012. So, just a reminder, the 2021 plan is still under review, but we're going to go ahead and release these lessons. You're welcome to join in. Watch Team Resistance Discord for more information. So, what are we going to cover today? First is where to find the software. There's a long way. There's some good information. I want you to understand where it is, how to get to it. And then there's the easy way. Either way you get there, make sure you bookmark it. Once we get there, we want to download the software. There's a few issues with downloading the software, some things that aren't really highlighted. They're there, but they don't highlight them. So we'll cover that in the load order. Once we've downloaded, we'll install the software. We'll cover the different revisionings of the Visual Studio Code and the WPI software, and then the National Instruments software, installation, registration, and key. Notice that registration and key. So, let's get started. The first place we're going to start is firstinspires.org. Go there, and under Programs, select First Robotics. Go down to Game and Season. Notice there's a resource library. Don't go there. If you go there, it drops your first, then you got to put in some filters and all that. So don't bother going there. Go to Game and Season. Under Game and Season, notice there's still if you scroll down, there's a resource library again, but let's go down here to the technical resources. Notice there's a great amount of information there. You're welcome to go through and look at all that, but what we're interested in is the electrical and software resources. We click on that, takes us to another page, which is the control system and programming documentation. Click on that, and another page. Again, good information here. A lot of it seems to be vendor information. Navex, we use that. The Jetson, we've been interested in it, but we'll skip it for the time being. Right here at the top, for the 2020 season, software has been moved to this link. Notice it's not a hot link, so what you got to do is copy it, Control-C, come up to your URL, Control-V to paste it, hit enter, and voila, we are here, finally. Getting started, right there, docs. So that's the hard way, or the long way around. The other way is simply to type in FRC software. And right here at the top, notice there, if you look at it, it's the WPI-lib.org. Click there, and it takes you to almost the same place. Hit Docs, and it'll take you to the top, getting started. Either way you get there, go ahead and bookmark it. All right, so now let's start. I said let's start. There we go. Just a listing. Let's go down to Introduction, New to Programming. Some nice stuff. If you're interested in C++, you're welcome to read through that. There's some training documents. Java, that's what this team uses. So we're going to be interested in Java. Code Academy, I've gone through that. The document that we usually use is called Blue Pelican Java. There's a lot of PDFs out there for it. Go ahead and download one of those if you want to learn Java. Code Academy, like I said, is also good. Some information on getting your robot going. We're going to move on, though. We don't use LabVIEW. We just don't. Software components. So operating system compatibility, when we scan through that, we don't use LabVIEW. So we're going to skip over that and we're going to scroll on down to here. No, not here, down to here. Yeah, click on that here, and it'll take you to the offline installation and preparation. Don't ask me, it would have been nice if they had said the Java link is here or something like that, but this is what they do. So for all teams, we're going to download the game tools. Yay, we're downloading, maybe. Right here at the top, note, install programming environments such as LabVIEW or Microsoft Visual Studio before installing this product. You're welcome to download it now. Go ahead. But we will come across this later on. LabVIEW teams, go ahead and skip over that. Here's where we want Java teams. Click on that, and it takes us to the WPI library. Interesting. I'm going to tell you right now, don't click on any of this. It doesn't take you where you think you need to go. What you need to do is scroll on down, and down, and down. And assets, here you go. Windows installer, 32-bit, 64-bit, Linux, Macs. You're more than welcome to download either of those, but we're going to be working in Windows. So my machine is a Windows 64. So go ahead and download that. Third-party libraries, we're going to skip over that. So now we're in the installation. All right, so we downloaded the installer, the WPI installer, and your first thing you're going to need to do is unzip it. I've got mine and I've put a bunch of them. I've downloaded a bunch. So you're going to need to unzip this. I unzip it into a folder. It's up to you. It unzips is executable, and that's what we'll be double clicking on. This file gets downloaded later. All right. So double click on the, once you've unzipped it, double click on the WPI Windows installer. All right, so let's see what it says. So the first thing that's going to pop up once you execute it is all users. I recommend that. That's up to you, whatever your security requirements are. I use all users. This is where it stores that file, where it's going to be installing things. There's been some changes the last couple of years. One of the things that happens is the first time, well, actually each time I believe, is this Visual Studio Code does not get checked. Do not install Visual Studio Code separately. This installer will pull it down separately. There's some licensing issues with Microsoft. They can't install, put it together as part of the install, so you have to download it separately. So go ahead and click on download the Visual Studio Code. When it comes back from that download, this will be checked, or should be checked. All right, once you click on download file, then all you have to do is click on execute install. So be careful about that. That's one that'll get you. You think you have to download Visual Studio separately. Do not do that. Use this Visual Studio. It puts it in a special place. It sets up pointers to it. There's a whole bunch of stuff that gets tied to this particular download process. So be careful with that. Finished. Open with VS Code. Basically default through the rest of this. You end up with an icon on your desktop showing, in this case, 2020, not 2019. Same that's the one that you'll be using. By the way, that's what you'll be using to launch this, because again, it points to a specific Visual Studio Code install. So you'll need to use that. If you have to install it, we don't care. We'll never uninstall this stuff, right? So again, LabVIEW, we don't use LabVIEW. We're going to skip over all the LabVIEW stuff. Come down here to the bottom and click Next. You probably could find an easier way to do this, but if you want to read through it or if you want to install LabVIEW, it doesn't hurt. So we're going to click Next. All right, remember that other software I said you can download now or you can download later? There you go. If you've already installed National Instruments stuff, you'll need to uninstall it now. It doesn't overwrite an existing install. And it tells you how to do that. Download the update. If you click here, it should look familiar. Same page. There's your download, so you can download now. Like I said, either one's fine. Download, just don't install it until we get here. Alright, so we download the online installer. It'll install Net Frameworks. You may need to click OK somewhere along the line to accept some prompts. Basically, this is a default through. So go ahead and once you've downloaded it, execute it, and it's just default through. Follow the instructions, and when you get down to here, not here, here, you're going to eventually end up with a login. If you don't have an account, go ahead and create an account. It'll then throw up the activation wizard. And the only thing it's asking for an activation, or the only one they're showing now, is the vision development module. I don't want to post that in the YouTube. I will post it up on the Discord. So once you do that, don't panic. You get 2 weeks free with this. It will. You can run the licensing wizard after the fact, but eventually you do want to get it licensed so that it keeps bugging you, quits bugging you. Activation successful. You hit next, and like I said, basically default through all this stuff, and eventually you'll get down to the reboot. Once you reboot, you're good to go. So there it is. So you should at that point have an icon on your desktop and be able to boot into Visual Studio Code. All right. Well, what else? Other than that, I would say be constructive, be patient. This is new for all of us. We're open to suggestions, and above all, have fun. Our next lesson will be on the Visual Studio Code itself and the WPI library, and how to define things and how to use it and how to set up some code, some very basic code, and how to run the simulator. That's a new one for us this year. It'll allow us to play with the FRC code with the WPI library without having to have a RoboRio. So have fun, enjoy, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.